Good morning, everybody. So, I'd like to kick this off now, and first thing I really wanted to share with you before we get going is the mission statement that we have within Microsoft, which is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And when I look at this mission statement, my favorite word in this is this one here. So I like the more bit, because I know from my experience with our partners that partners make more possible. Partners really are our scale engine. They help us to reach the customers that we can't reach, and they basically give us incredible scale, and we're thankful for all of our partners who work so hard every day to make that possible. So I guess the first thing that I want to say is thank you very much for everything that you do as partners. And for those who aren't yet partners, I think we've got a really compelling story and a really joined up story with Grey Matter around the partner journey. So I'm here today to talk about the power of Microsoft partnership. I'm co-presenting this with our colleagues from Grey Matter. Chris is going to be doing a section of this presentation, and also my Microsoft colleagues Ollie and Matt from our SureStep team. So I'm a partner technology strategist at Microsoft. My name's Gregory, and I help our partners to scale their cloud practices, to build repeatable IP, and to upskill their technical teams. I've been with Microsoft for 2 years, but before that I was a Microsoft partner myself. So some of this has come from my own personal experience sitting in your seat, but I wanted to share some of the insights that we have from Microsoft in terms of our partner ecosystem, some of the things that we see within the customer landscape, and then we'll move on to the ISV journey with Grey Matter, and then with SureStep for the partner resources that you have available to you as a Microsoft partner. And the first thing that I would ask you, a little quiz for you. So for every £1 of Microsoft revenue, how much partner opportunity do you think there is within that? So in terms of pounds and pence. Do you want to have a quick guess what the opportunity is for the partner?
72p.
72p? Anybody else? How much? 90p. Any other offers? £6. Okay. So, gentleman over here is the closest. So we've done research with IDC. It's actually shown that on average, partners make £9.64 for every pound that is spent with Microsoft. So I think this tells us a couple of things. Firstly, that the opportunity that we have in our partner ecosystem is enormous. I mean, Microsoft's revenue is huge by itself, but if you multiply that by 9.64, there's a huge opportunity for partners, and it's a great place to exist within that ecosystem. And the second thing, and this I think is really interesting, which is the biggest opportunity for our partners isn't purely just reselling our software and services. The biggest opportunity, the bit where there's the most profitability and the most margin to be made, is where partners are packaging their IP and selling their services as managed services. And that's why we're seeing a lot of partners with larger margins who are able to sort of have that multiplier effect. And I think we've come a long way in sort of the last few decades on the Microsoft partner journey. And if I think back to when I was a Microsoft partner 20 years ago, nearly 20 years ago, it just seemed like a long time now. But if I think back to that time, it was all about selling boxed products and selling markup on licensing. We weren't really adding a lot of value to that piece. And I think Microsoft have moved on in our partner vision as well. So we've moved from a simple partnering motion with our partners to true partnership, where the success of the partner and the success of Microsoft are sort of inextricably linked together. And I think the statistic on this slide that that spells it out most for me is the fact that 95% of Microsoft's commercial revenue goes through our partners. And that's not just SMB partners, it's not just enterprise, all of our customers, all of our commercial revenue, 95% through partners like you. So you're critical to our success, and we need to build those deep relationships with you to succeed. And it's an incredibly thriving ecosystem. We've got more than 7,500 partners joining this partner ecosystem every single month. And when I talk about our joint success, we have things like our co-sell program, which has only started just under 2 years ago and has already generated $8 billion worth of value for our partners. This is where Microsoft sellers are selling our partner solutions to our joint customers. And when I look at our CSP business, that's grown partners who sell CSP on average have grown by 31% in the last year. So staggering growth in this particular area. CSP is the part of the business that I fit into with our channel partners. And in terms of the customer landscape, this is what we see as the customer, the state of the partner. And then in terms of the state of the customer, what I wanted to share is just a few insights from our seller team who interact with our customers. And for this audience, I think what we would say is that most of you sell into the commercial SMB space. I know there are a few people who sell into the enterprise space, but actually I just wanted to pull out some of the statistics that we're seeing in the market right now for our customer landscape. First thing, and this is very close to my heart, which is our Windows Server and SQL Server end of support for 2008 and 2008 R2 is coming up rapidly. I don't think enough of our customers are aware of this issue, and there's a huge opportunity for our partners. In fact, I think that this is the biggest opportunity in 2019 for our partners, including our ISV partners, to modernize our customers' platform and help them to take advantage of all that innovation that we've developed over the last 10 years. And you can actually see that in the small SMB segment, which is our 1 to 24 customers, the awareness is only down at 35%. It's slightly better in our large SMB space, but we know that there's still work to be done, and actually that's why we need partners like you to help us to reach those customers that we don't have those relationships with. And interestingly, many of you will be on a cloud journey. The statistics that we've got for why people are moving to the cloud and what's holding them back, this fascinates me because the number one motivator for people wanting to move to the cloud is cost optimization, yet the thing that's stopping them is uncertainty about costs. So it's kind of almost a dilemma, really. They're on one hand, they understand that there's great cost savings to be made, but on the other hand, they need some help from partners like you to understand how do they get there, how do they optimize, how do they make sense of this new consumption economy and subscription-based services rather than the traditional services that they've been consuming for the last 10 years. And I think we still have work that needs to be done with our partnering and particularly our licensing. I'm showing you this because this is 6 of our licensing channels that we have. We have many more than this. And I think what you'll see over time is that we'll be consolidating this and simplifying this, and especially for partners as well. So this is just the partner business models that we've got today. I would highly recommend, if you're interested in learning what's coming down the line with our modern licensing, is to attend the session that's going on this afternoon with Kieran Warner and Chris from Grey Matter, who are going to be talking about Microsoft's vision for modern licensing. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise too much, but I want to just give you a sneak peek and show that we are trying to simplify this into 3 channels for our customers. One which is partner-led, one which is customer self-serve, and then one which is Microsoft-led, and that will typically be in our enterprise space. And so what does that mean from a partner point of view? Well, the great thing is that we are simplifying this model, and as I mentioned, our team work in the CSP space over here with our direct CSP and indirect CSP channels. And then what does this look like from a grey matter point of view? Well, this is where grey matter fit into this future that we have. We have the direct CSP relationship for customers of grey matter and the indirect CSP relationship for resellers who want to be able to resell our cloud services with their own packaged IP to the end customers. And the reason I'm showing you this is because regardless of how your customer is buying Microsoft Cloud services, we have marketplaces for you to put your IP, to put your solutions and your apps, whether it's Azure Marketplace for the developers and the IT pros, or AppSource for business users using Dynamics 365 or Microsoft 365. We have Partner Center now, which is surfacing those offers that I mentioned before from Azure Marketplace to other partners who want to be able to buy your ISV solutions. And also, we've got a fantastic joined up story because Grey Matter also have their own marketplace that you can use and you can put your solution into, customize and deliver to your customers as well. And the nice thing is that these play nicely with each other. We have a very joined up story here, and Grey Matter are able to articulate and help guide you to the right marketplace for your app or for your solution. I think it's really important in the marketplace side of things because I think it really drives scale within our ecosystem. It makes it easier for customers to buy your IP or solution. It makes it easier for you to sell your solution to your customers, and it really drives scale and growth. And I think this statistic shows that we're seeing an immense growth in the sort of overall marketplaces within organizations, whether it's the marketplace for our platform or an internal marketplace for your customers or a marketplace for your company. And so really that whole kind of marketplace approach supports what we're sort of seeing within the market and seeing within our partners who are the most profitable. And again, these are partners who are moving away from a pure resale motion towards the packaged IP. And so the percentage here is the gross margin on average that partners are making with their solutions. So you can see on the far left-hand side, partners who are just doing a simple resale motion, those are making some margin, a little bit. As we go towards the right here, we've got partners who are delivering project-based services, but there's still a lot of competition in there because I think there's little differentiation within the channel, and as the margins are getting tighter here because of that lack of differentiation. The costs are remaining the same, but the actual cost of delivering that solution in terms of your employees, the expenses, the actual salaries of those people is increasing. So the margins are getting squeezed with the project services. It's really on the right-hand side here, the managed services and the packaged IP, where we're seeing greatest profitability. And my key takeaway for anyone in this room is to have a look at the cloud profitability playbooks that we have. This one in particular, which is the Growing Your ISV Business with SaaS, is a great place to start. It's not a technical ebook, but it's a great reference that includes a ton of help to understand how to build a profitable business, how to package your solution, and how to go to market. And with that go-to-market approach, I'm going to hand over to Chris from Grey Matter, who's going to talk about the ISV journey from a Grey Matter point of view.
Thanks, Guy. So, in just linking that to Guy's session, the word journey that I suspect you're going to hear several hundred times today, I just wanted to really touch initially on where Grey Matter's part of that has come in terms of we've been about as a business for almost 40 years now, and it's safe to say historically we've been in this sell-to motion. So we'll will provide you with a piece of software or a subscription to be able to create your solution. About 5 years ago, we got to the point where we realized, okay, well, as opposed to just selling you something, let's actually help you go through that deployment, whether that's to Azure or you need some development services or whether that may be. So we created the Build With services, but then we realized that there was actually opportunity within working with our ISVs to not just help them adopt technologies, but actually go to market with their solutions as well. So over the course of this time, we've really we've developed our offerings to ensure that we have a full service house. So we're not just selling you something; we actually are helping you grow a pipeline in a business. And as part of that, we've created two journeys. The Build With journey, which is by no means prescriptive. It really depends on where you are in terms of your adoption. But this is kind of a way in which we see that a sort of a typical process that we find we're working with ISVs when they're adopting new technology. So when we think about Azure specifically, this is kind of a good framework and starting point to help them adopt the cloud. So we'll typically kick off with a webinar. So that could be a one-to-one webinar where we understand your specific requirements, what you're trying to achieve as a business, not just from a technology perspective, but from a commercial perspective as well. And then that gives us an idea of sort of how that would transpose to Azure. Once we've got that idea, we'll then build that into a workshop. So we'll come in and sit with you on a one-to-one basis with your key stakeholders, just to really tie that design down. With the intention that off the back of that, we work with you to create a strategy and adoption plan. So that strategy and adoption plan is not just about actually how that design or taking your IP to Azure would look, but actually we also build in things like learning for your teams as well. So we appreciate that as part of understanding new technology that comes with learning, and as part of that learning, we tie that to Microsoft competencies as well. So we're not just saying that once we get you up on Azure or whatever cloud platform that is you're utilizing, we're saying actually let's help you support that moving forward. You'll see in the yellow dot there's something called Microsoft Fast Track. That is a particular benefit to help partners and customers adopt Microsoft technologies. So it's a Microsoft team that will work with you every step of the way, and we make the introductions to you and work with that team to really make sure that essentially what we're proposing is rubber stamped by Microsoft, but also they're good in terms of helping with the adoption around learning and signposting to key pieces of information as well. And then what we've done is we've got something that we refer to as a live lab. Microsoft refer to it as a hack, but essentially we come and sit with you and do the deployment. So we're not just saying here's the design, crack on. We'll actually sit with you and go through that deployment to actually do that proof of concept piece. We have had partners that don't necessarily want to do live labs or hacks. They've got skills in-house, so we provided them with proof of concept funding as well. That's in conjunction with Microsoft as well as donated by Grey Matter. It just really depends on particular preference, but we have conversations in and around that point. And then it's the technical certification. So we actually do the training off the back of the live lab, so we know that you're there and you're certified, so that when we move into live, we know that you're not just reliant on us from a support perspective. You guys are able to do that yourselves. And then as we actually move forward, we go back into the strategy and adoption plan check. So we loop back around just to ensure that what we've delivered upon is correct and you're happy. And then what we refer to as a health check, just to ensure that what's been deployed is consistent. And of course, we've got a technical account manager that will sit across the entire process. So we've not just got sales account managers, we've got technical account managers aligned to you as well. So moving on to the sell with journey, so where we talk about we're not just selling you something and you creating your own marketplace for that. We're actually utilising our own channels. So obviously we're here as Grey Matter today, but actually as part of the CDF group, we've got Grey Matter, who are a reseller in the traditional sense. We've got Sigma, who are a software distributor selling to technical service providers, and Cloud Know-How, which is essentially our technical services division. Depending on your offering, we've kind of got route to markets through each of those. So if you've got a solution that you think potentially a MSP could utilize, we could engage you with Sigma so that they could resell to their resellers, they distribute to their resellers. If you've got a particular consultancy offer that you think could prove value, we could add that to the Cloud Know-How proposition as well. So there's a great example here today, a company called Yellow Zebra, particularly focused around AI. We work with those guys in promotion of their AI technical services through our Cloud Know-How platform. And of course, the Microsoft piece really is tying that all together, because we're not just saying co-sell through those that sit within the CDF group, but actually let's help you get co-sell ready from a Microsoft perspective. And that really builds into the sell with journey that we've created. It's very similar to the technical journey in terms of those 6 points. But the real key differentiators are the work that we do with the SureStep guys. So they're talking about sort of what they can provide as part of this. But it's that webinar, workshop, strategy planning through to delivery. So that could be legal and contractual support. So if you think about when you're providing Microsoft subscriptions to your customers, specifically through a CSP, you will need a contract in place. And we've got templates that we can provide in helping you build those out. But that also includes marketing support as well, which Mark Doyle from our marketing team is going to go into in a bit more detail later on this afternoon with myself. And so Guy touched on it as well, is there's the marketplace piece. So we help you get on the Microsoft marketplaces, so whether that's the Azure marketplace or the AppSource marketplace, as well as our own through GM Cirrus. But actually, we have a version of GM Cirrus as well, which you can white label, so you can create your own marketplaces yourselves. And at that point as well, we look at so we talk about the silver competency. So the ISV competency has just been made defunct, but that's where we start looking at the cloud platform, cloud productivity competencies as well, and build that out, and which is tied to your technical certification as well. And then again, once we've gone through that live stage, we've got our business development services in-house. So whether that's just giving you access to our telesales team to follow up on a campaign that you've run, or whether that's actually let's create something bespoke. And then that moves on to the goal competency attainment, and then again, as before, circling back around just to check that what we've said that we've delivered upon. And similar to the other motion, we just have a partner account manager that sits across the entire process. So you've got your technical account manager sitting across the technical, and then you've got your partner account manager across the sell with journey. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Morning, everyone. My name's Oliver Gardner. This is Matthew Batterby, and we're, as it's touched on by Guy earlier, we're part of the SureStep team. The SureStep team within Microsoft, we work across the indirect channel, and we're here to help Grey Matter's indirect CSP partners to grow their business. How do you grow your business? Well, you grow your business by adding more customers. And in SureStep, we're here to help you guys to add more customers. At Microsoft, we're very, very aware that partners make it possible. So we're here, we've highlighted some things relating to partner.microsoft.com, but at SureStep we can reach out to you to provide you an insight on how competencies, incentives, support, learning, marketing, case studies and networking, all of those resources together can help you with your journey to add more customers. When we started in the SureStep team, one of the things that we realised through interaction with partners is that there's an understanding of your journey through the Microsoft Partner Network, but really what do all the elements look like? So we've created this interactive slide here, which shows that there's There's 4 different levels through the Microsoft partner journey. Whether you be an MPN member, which is free to join, whether you look at an action pack, which is a one-off annual payment, and then you come on to silver and gold competency statuses. So what we've got up here, it demonstrates to you the different benefits that you can get throughout these different levels. So for example, we can have conversations with you if you're looking to deploy something new for the first time. We can reach out and provide you with advisor hours. For Action Pack, you get 5 hours per year. Silver or Gold partnership, you get 25 or 50 hours per year. Those advisor hours can be used to reach out to Microsoft partner technical consultants to help you come up with deployment of new products and services you're looking to go through.
Yeah, and same with, the reason we've built this out and the way we've built it out, all interactive, so everything that's underlined is a link to take you to where you need to go to start utilising this. It's because what we found is partners were going on partner.microsoft.com, they knew they were looking for something but didn't know what they were looking for, didn't know where to find it, so we've tried making it a lot simpler. So everything underlined is a link to take you to where you need to go. So for example, you've got dev chat as well, so you know if you're building applications, your developers, they can speak to developers at Microsoft on a live chat function. Great link when you click on there, the live chat function comes up. There's also a cheesy 4-minute video to tell you all about it as well. Ollie's touched on the advisory hours. We've got some really good success stories of where we've guided partners to start using those advisory hours, and they've won some pretty big deals off the back of using those as well. And they've also used it for technical training, which has been really useful for partners. You've also got signature support, so that goes along with having a competency, which is basically just that next level technical support that goes with having a competency. You've got your incentives as well, which we'll touch on in a following slide. We've got a couple of slides around incentives just to make you aware of those. We won't go into too much detail, it's all percentages and all that kind of stuff, so we can always catch up with you guys after if you want to speak to us more around that. The marketing resources, I don't want to take away too much thunder from what Chris is going to present after, but there's some really great resources available. So we've spoken to hundreds of partners over the last couple of months alone, and the marketing resource is something that's been taken up really well and really positively. Bear with me, I've had a sore throat for the last few days. But yeah, the marketing resource is a great page, as well as all the other stuff, which again, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but there's a really good page in there where you can literally search by a product, so be it Azure, Office 365, Dynamics, and there's some great collateral that you can download, like pitch decks, email templates where you can put your own logos in there, all this kind of stuff that's really good. You've also got your internal use rights. Again, I won't go into too much detail, but when you get this shared out after, the link will take you to where you need to go. If you have got your MPN ID, you can view what you're utilising, what you're missing out on, but also there's some documents as well where the X's are underlined to show you what you should be entitled to. And that's the same for the Azure credit as well. And the marketplace, now what's really good is you have got access to marketplace consultations as well. So if there's anything you're unsure of around the marketplace, these one-to-one consultations, you can raise a ticket through there, and then you get that one-to-one support, so you can learn more about the marketplace and how you can utilise it best for you.
Okay, so Matt touched on about incentives, so rebates, so something you get back for being a Microsoft partner. In order to enrol into the CSP Indirect Reseller Incentive Scheme, you need to be a Silver or Gold competency member. Slide after this will talk to you about how we can help you with Microsoft achieve that Silver or Gold competency. But once you have achieved it, we can then enrol you into the CSP Indirect Reseller Incentive Program. So for example, it's very, very small, but on the right hand side here, we're in Microsoft's FY19 at the moment, and we're in H2, we're in the second half of it that runs up until the end of June. At the moment, you can see on there then, once you're enrolled into this incentive program, for example, for a core Office 365 product, you can get 6% paid back to you by Microsoft on your billed revenue. On other core CSP products, M365 for example, you can get 8%. On reserved instances with Azure, you can get 10%. But there's also accelerators that you can have along the way as well. There are accelerators that will run up until the end of the FY, and there are accelerators that run throughout the FY as well. So for example, for any new CSP customer adds throughout FY19, you can get an additional 2% on top of the 10, 8 or 6% which you're looking at here. Again, SureStep are here if you want to have conversations around how to enrol into the incentive program. Reach out to your Grey Matter account manager. We can arrange a call with you to talk about the enrolment process through Partner Center and how you can get yourself actually earning money back on Microsoft products that you sell.
and as well as the incentives that Ollie just talked through, so they're paid out on a monthly basis. These are accelerators, so I won't go into too much detail, obviously that's why I've kept them quite small. But essentially what you've got here is for Microsoft 365, Azure and Dynamics 365, specific customer ad incentives. So for example on Dynamics, for specific SKUs, if you add a new customer and it's 15 or more licenses, you can get a rebate back of $2,000 for that customer ad. And that runs from January the 1st up until the end of June, and I'm sure there'll be next ones for the next FY as well. But yeah, so there's same for Azure and same for M365, obviously a bit different around the customer ads, but it's just to drive that more customer ads. But again, it's just another way that you can get more rebates back from Microsoft for adding new customers.
So we talked about the different levels of any MPN member, Action Pack, Silver or Gold competency, and there may be guys of you in the room now who have looked at wanting to obtain a Silver or Gold competency. Chris touched on Cloud Platform, for example, which is a great one for Azure. And how does that journey look? How do we go about achieving that competency? We know there's benefits of it. There's from a slide I showed earlier, there's great benefits you can get from obtaining these competencies. Well, the Cloud Enablement Desk is a scheme that's here for unmanaged partners to help them achieve competency attainment. Now, they can also help you with go-to-market support, and they can also help you with Microsoft Partner Technical Consultant engagements. So the way that this works is SureStep can nominate you onto the Cloud Enablement Desk. The Cloud Enablement Desk will then assign you a Partner Technical Consultant to work with throughout your journey, but they work with you until the point you achieve that competency. So they're there to hold your hand, to work with you on marketing, to work with you on competency attainment, to work with you of how do we get to that next level to get the silver or then get the gold competency. It's free of charge for indirect Microsoft partners as well. But as part from that as well, they can also help you with a sell with account, so they can get you ready for co-sell eligibility as well. Okay. So again, if the Cloud Enablement Desk is something that you feel that would work with you as a business, again, reach out to your Grey Matter account manager. We can arrange a call with SureStep, and we can get you. We can talk about putting you onto the CD.
Yeah, and then what we've got here is something that's being taken up really well by partners. So it's fairly new in its existence, how it looks now. We're calling it Cloud Ascent. So within your Partner Center portal, the link at the bottom of the page takes you to the dashboard that's available there under Customer Opportunities. Within here, basically what we've tried to create is a sales pipeline for partners of their existing user base. So this is where we can look at cross-sell and upsell opportunities. So for example, might have partners that are selling Office 365 to customers and then unaware that they've got a Dynamics 365 opportunity sat right there because they're not looking at it, or maybe they're not selling it at the moment. So what we're able to do here is filter by product. You can also see things like the open expiring revenue. It's a bit blurry, so I do apologise, but the EA expiring revenue as well, and the number of agreements that are expiring over the next 12 months. And then it gives you the revenue, as I say. And you can download this into an Excel format where, for me, I'm a bit of an Excel geek, so that's where it came to life for me. The dashboard's great. I like the Excel document that you can download. But it splits the customers off into different clusters as well. So you've got Act Now, Evaluate, Nurture and Educate. Your Act Now and your Evaluate are your sort of sales ready, marketing ready customers, and then your Nurture and Educate are the partners, the customers, sorry, you want to make them aware of the products. So if it was a Dynamics 365 opportunity, for example, rather than going at them with a big sales campaign, you'd go at them with more of an awareness campaign of this is the impact that it can have on your business. But yeah, the more we're getting partners looking at this data and utilising it, we're seeing some really good customer ad numbers off the back of this, be it from the sales pipeline that it creates and also the expiring agreements that maybe the partners weren't aware of. But like I say, when you download it into Excel, you have an expirations tab, and then you also have specific product tabs as well. So using the Office 365 tab, for example, you can see all sorts of information in there. It's aggregated data from both internal and external resources, but you can see things in there like the end customer's current estate. There's some compete analysis in there around whether they're maybe using Google or AWS. You can also have a look at previous purchases, so how many licenses of Office 2013 did they purchase, all this kind of stuff. To really help you go at them with maybe, if it was Office 365, for example, an Office modernization message, if they've got people using multiple different licenses. We've all had that nightmare where you send someone an Excel doc and they can't open it because they're on a different version of Office and all that kind of stuff. You can go at them with that message. So what we've tried to do at the bottom is tell you what products are covered, the opportunity that lies in there, so like Windows Server 2008 end of support, and then the competitor analysis as well. But yeah, this is something that's kind of another thing that we kind of spotted straight away that was kind of hidden away, partners weren't really looking at, and we're trying to drive more and more partners to this data, and we're getting some really good feedback. So if you do take this away and have a look, if you have got any feedback, get back to us on that, because as I say, we're driving more and more partners over the past few months, so the more feedback's the better. If there's something in there that you're not seeing that you want to see, if you raise that through grey matter, you can pass that on.
Thanks, Matt.
Did you say this is customer data?
Yeah, so this is partner facing. So for example, Grey Matter wouldn't be able to see their partner's data. We encourage to share with Grey Matter to enable you to work together.
There's a customer engagement, we can have a look and see
If it's your customer,
Yeah.
they're going to be our customer.
if they are already your customer,
Yeah.
How do you determine that?
it's through your sales.
So if you've previously sold them,
Is there an ISP? Sorry, I'm just trying to get the relevant. Sorry.
Okay. I mean, like I say, what I'd say is have a look at the data if you've got access to your if you're in part of the MPN. We can have a look at what's in there, and we can look at that together and see if there is any data in there. If not, that's absolutely fine. We can.
There isn't. I can say that.
Okay.
Thank you.
but it's something we've created as a team for SureStep is some product resource documents. Microsoft it's a bit like the world's largest library. We know that the information is going to be out there, but it's a bit like walking into the library with your blindfold on. You need to find chapter and verse of that book. Where do I go to find it? What we're trying to do on a product by product basis, so this is one for Modern Workplace, which I cover, is we're trying to, for interactions we're having with partners, is provide them with a singular document where they can go and look at where is the relevant resource for that product. So whether it's I'm looking at technical webcasts, for example, whether I want to sign up to join the Modern Workplace community call to find out what's going on in Modern Workplace, whether it's I want to look at demos.microsoft.com because I actually want to set up a demo tenant and play around with the product, or whether it's looking at the Office M365 or Office 365 roadmap, what's going to be coming out, and then what competencies are relevant for those specific products. We have this based along Dynamics, which Matt covers, and we also have this for Azure as well, Get Sure with Azure. So again, it's looking at these products and where do I need to find my core learning paths? Where are the specific resources and tools which are available? All of this is interactive, so again, you can click on the various links on here and it will take you straight through to the relevant content. And that's it. So again, as we said earlier, if any of you guys who are with Grey Matter at the moment, reach out to your Grey Matter account manager if you want some SureStep interaction, and we can arrange a call with you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we still have a few minutes. If anyone has any questions for us, happy to field them now, either for myself, for the SureStep team, or for Chris. Any brave volunteers for any questions?
We do have another question that we just asked around how would you view that? Is through the partner association link?
I know I can do it because I can see it on my partner centre. But my question was, how is that relevant to an ISV who's providing their own, trying to sell their own IP rather than selling Office 365, Dynamics, etc.?
Yeah, so
how do I see those insights for the customer that I'm trying to sell my IP to?
yeah, so I suppose it depends on whether you want to sell your IP on Azure or Microsoft platforms. Because then
all our stuff is already sold in AppSource, Azure Marketplace, etc. So my point is, I want to see whose Office status is for a customer.
Yeah, so that's why I'd suggest even is sending the partner association link. So even if you're not necessarily directly selling them, having that association will enable you to have visibility of them within.
Partner association link.
Yeah. So it will give you that visibility within Partner Centre.
It's a new thing.
Exactly. So you can multiple partners can have partner association with them, and then that will enable you to view them in Partner Centre.
That makes sense.
And that gives you that visibility.
Any other questions?
So slightly left field, but I was looking at the Find a Partner website the other day and trying to improve things in the UK. And I think the smallest geographical ring fence you could put inside them to make it one. That didn't help people find the partnerships.
No.
So a quick fix.
That's very
Would be
feedback.
fantastic.
Do you want to come and find me afterwards? I'll make sure that feedback gets passed on. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had the same thing. I wanted to promote my company in a sort of a regional area, and they said that you couldn't just put that in a description field. You couldn't actually put it in a sort of search term.
Yeah.
So that would be useful.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's good.
For that.
Actually, while you're making lists about that, I've got somewhere.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't get a question.
For the gold, gold and silver competences, how many individuals in a partner need to be certified?
It depends on the competency really. There's certain competencies that there's one competency that doesn't require any exams, and there's some where it's normally around 2. But it depends on the competency. It depends whether it's silver and gold. Sometimes, depending on the competency, going from a silver to a gold, it's double the people that need to pass those exams. So just depends on the competency. But what I can do, once we've shared that with you, we can share a link to take you to view all the competencies, view the requirements, and then what the benefits are at the end of that as well.
Is there a particular one that you're thinking of?
Well, it's really the Azure and the productivity tool.
Okay. So I've got some content that I can share with you straight away with regards to those competencies. If you want to hang back, I can hang through.
Anyone else? Right, well, we've an extra 5 minutes for your tea and coffee break. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.